What it do, T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I am here with a new Spill the Tea video. Now, I don't normally do Spill the Tea videos like the one I'm doing right now on true crime, but this update on the JonBenet Ramsey case just blew me away. You guys. You know, has pretty much been an unsolved case now for over 20 years, maybe going on 30 if not. And we might have finally found who unalived their baby girl. Let's get into this juiciness, okay? So according to the U.S. Sun, Gary Olivia, a convicted P-word, y'all know what I'm talking about, with the word foul at the end, currently in prison for child P-word, ography at the end, offenses, was for years considered a suspect in the unsolved, M-word of JonBenet, who was found bludgeoned to D-word in the basement of her family home in Boulder, Colorado on December 26, 1996. This is a photograph of Gary Olivia that we're seeing on the screen right now while he was in custody. The 59-year-old has previously admitted to having an obsession with the slain child beauty pageant queen and has authored a series of confession letters from prison claiming to have K-word her by accident. Those confession letters were sent to Michael Vale, who is photographed right here with cassette tapes and letters sent from jail from Gary Olivia, okay? Once again, those confession letters were sent to Michael Vale, an old high school classmate of Olivia's in Irvine, California, who told the U.S. Sun Olivia was known as scary guy growing up among his peers. While he never considered Olivia to be one of his friends, he did latch on to Vale's friendship group, which was mostly comprised of artists, musicians, and creatives. While I hate to use the word friends because when you're in a small school, maybe 75 to 100 kids, you pretty much know everybody and you get into your little cliques, right? Said Vale. But Gary is what I would call an arbiter. He would orbit around our group and people would call him Scary Gary because he was so unpredictable. He was a very disturbed kid. Sometimes he'd have a spasm and start burning his arm with something. Oh, wow. Or just go running, screaming down the street. Well, that's normal. Baby, I would have steered clear. He also used to joke about necrophilia and stuff. He would commit all these petty crimes like breaking and entering, and he'd always steal weird things like art supplies. He just had a very messed up, dysfunctional childhood, one of the worst you can imagine. But I had a fantastic childhood, so I think that's why he gravitated towards me, because he was seeking out some sense of normalcy. Child, I don't care what he would have been seeking. I would have been like, bruh, nope, I would have told my family, we moving. We are moving to the next state over. I don't want to be nowhere near this dude. So Vale first started corresponding with Olivia via letters a few years after they both graduated high school. Their letters were at first fairly typical exchanges in which they'd update one another on their lives, jobs, and families. Baby, he wouldn't have had my address. Absolutely not. Before long, Olivia began sending Vale audio tapes, which, at least to begin with, started out innocently enough and often contained odd but amusing skits, including one recording of Olivia pretending to interview a macaron cookie. You crazy too, Vale, for even corresponding with somebody that's sending you cassette tapes and doing skits of him talking to a macaroon cookie. Like, absolutely not. I would have stopped mail. Come here, I would have moved. Honey, ain't no way. But after a few years of exchanging stupid-ish, the content of Olivia's correspondences quickly grew darker and more disturbing sometime around 1989, Vail said. Regular conversational topics were displaced for long rambling paragraphs about blood and M-word and newspaper clippings of missing girls, and quirky interview tapes gave way to sickening recordings of Olivia simulating the R word of a child. Why were you still corresponding with this creep? Like, what? Some of the tapes even had writing scrawled in blood on them, according to Vail. In 1990, Olivia will be charged with sexually abusing a 7-year-old girl. The following year, he'd be charged with attempting the strangle his mother to D-word with a telephone wire. Oh my God. Oh my God. The stuff he started sending me just got darker and darker and darker, said Vail. Sometimes I would open the package and a bunch of hair would fall out. Oh no. Oh no. I would have went to the police right then and there. What? Along with a poster of a missing girl in Oregon or something. And you didn't think to take none of this to the police? I wonder who that girl was and why did Gary mail me the poster? Was he involved or was he just aroused by missing people and the poster was some kind of P-wordography for him? But no, sir. I still need information on why you didn't contact the police. You crazy too. I don't know why I got that in the mail, but it's very disturbing. And there were cassette tapes with their labels smeared in blood. Some of the recordings were so disturbing, he added. In one, it sounded like he was Killing, an animal. And in another was a doll that talked and he was simulating R-wording this doll. Bro. Nope. Absolutely not. Concerning the latter tape, Olivia is heard talking to the doll and pretending he has been left alone to babysit a friend's daughter. How are you doing, Ronette? Olivia is heard saying in a snippet of the tape, to which to doll's responds, hi. Why don't you come over here and sit on my lap and let me touch your back? How do you like that, adds Olivia. Why would you not take this to the authorities? This is what's mind-boggling me. Like, it's obvious that this man was doing stuff that he didn't have no business do. He was hurting kids, and you never thought to give this information up years ago. In another tape, he was heard fantasizing about hurting and eating little children. Things I do, like making bacon strips out of little girls, so I'm into it, being a sick dog, Olivia said. Oh, wow. Vail said he's convinced Olivia was in some way involved in JonBenet's unaliving. That belief stems from a call from Olivia hours after the 6-year-old was found unalived, and hours before news of her brutal M-word would make headlines across the country. During the call, a frantic and emotional Olivia cried, "I just hurt a little girl." Vail pried for more information, but Olivia hung up the phone. The following morning, he went outside to collect the paper when he noticed a headline in the LA Times that read, "Girl 6 unalived in Boulder, Colorado." And sir, once again, you didn't think to contact the authorities. You're just as much as an accomplice for me. Like, lock him up too as well. Please lock him up because this is ridiculous. He immediately contacted, Boulder PD tip line, which was listed at the bottom of the article, and informed them what Olivia had told him, but Vail never received a call back. Okay, well, why didn't you actually contact the police instead of just leaving a message on a tip line? I called that number as fast as I could and reported it right away, he said. I told them, hey, this guy called me and told me he'd hurt a little girl in Boulder, and then told them everything I know. And then I sat back and waited, thinking I'll soon be reading in the newspaper that Gary had been arrested. But day after day went by, and I was like, why hasn't Gary been arrested yet? 3 months would pass without a reply, and so Vale once again reported Olivia's call. I said, hey, I need to talk to you guys because I'm wondering why haven't you arrested Gary yet? And they just put me through to a recorded line and I left a message, but again, nothing happened, he recounted. This is why our police system is so jacked up. So jacked up. So jacked up. I was just baffled how can this guy call me and tell me he's hurt a little girl before it's even in the newspaper and the police don't do anything. I always just assumed the police knew what the F they were doing. But there's no understanding not following up on that lead. I was convinced Gary did it because never in my life have I heard a grown man sobbing like that ever. I wasn't there obviously, but I have my theories as to what happened. At the time of Vale's second call to BPD, Patsy and John Ramsey had already been designated the key persons of interest in the case by investigators, and all leads and tips regarding other suspects largely went ignored. Vale wouldn't hear from authorities until 2002, when the district attorney took a fresh look over the case. Everybody needs to be locked up. Everybody involved. Because this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh my God. He turned over dozens of the letters and tapes Olivia has sent him over the years, which have still not been returned to him. By that time, Gary Olivia had already been arrested in Boulder on charges of criminal trespass, drug possession, and possession of a weapon by a prior criminal offender after he was caught roaming the halls of the University of Colorado campus after hours. At the time of his arrest, Olivia was found with a stun pow-pow in his possession, in addition to a photograph of JonBenet, a newspaper clipping about the case, and a poem he'd written about her titled Ode to JonBenet. Baby, Lou Smith, a legendary detective who came out of retirement to investigate the case for the DA's office, pointed to the incident as cause for naming him a potential suspect. The discovery of the stun pow-pow was a particularly interesting development for Smith, who had long theorized a stun pow-pow was used on JonBenet to subdue her in the moments before her unaliving. Smith told CBS 48 Hours in 2002 that Olivia may have been part of a group of several men that broke into Ramsey's home. John Ramsey told the U.S. Sun he believes his family was being watched for several weeks or even months before JonBenet's unaliving, suggesting also that the culprit or culprits had been in or broken into the home previously. Describing Olivia as a creeper with an apparent penchant for breaking and entering, Vale believes his former classmate, who was staying 13 houses away at the time, may have crossed paths with JonBenet at some stage and developed a fascination with her. So you mean to tell me this man literally lived 13 houses down from JonBenet, and nobody thought to arrest this man years prior when they heard these tip lines from Vale saying that he thought that, this man has something to do. Yeah, y'all, oh my God. Gary's proximity to the Ramseys is one of the things that most alarm me. Where he was getting his mail 13 houses away was accessible via an alleyway that also ran behind the Ramseys' home. I can't imagine he hadn't seen JonBenet. And since I know Gary used to creep into homes and buildings and steal art supplies, I think he could have been inside that house numerous times. He was a creeper, an expert at sneaking in and doing things without anyone ever knowing he was there. Olivia's DNA was taken as part of Smith's investigation, but he wasn't found to be a match for the crime scene. However, very little DNA exists in the case, and over the years, BPD has been heavily scrutinized for their failure to secure the crime scene after JonBenet was reported missing, contaminating potentially crucial evidence in the meantime. Olivia has never been charged in connection with the case. He was arrested again in Boulder in June 2016 on charges of possession of child pornography Much like his arrest 16 years earlier, Olivia was found to be in possession of a number of JonBenet related artifacts. Artifacts! A search of his phone yielded 335 photos of the unalived girl, including images of her autopsy, pictures of homemade shrines to her, and police crime scene images. Investigators also noted that a number of contacts in Olivia's phone referenced members of the Ramsey family, and several videos paying tribute to her were saved on the device. Vail reached out to Olivia after his arrest to learn more about the phone call he made to him in December 1996 and elicit a confession from him for unaliving JonBenet. 3 years later, he would pen a series of odd and disturbing confession letters to him, claiming to have unalived her accidentally. In one of the letters, which Vail shared to the U.S. Sun, Olivia wrote, "I never loved anyone like I did JonBenet, and yet I let her slip and her head bashed in half, and I watched her pass away. It was an accident. Please believe me. She was not like the other kids." Wow. In another, he claimed JonBenet completely changed me and removed all evil for me. Just one look at her beautiful face, her glowing, beautiful skin, and her divine God body. Oh, God. I realized I was wrong to unalive other kids, yet by accident, she passed away, and it was my fault. In other letters penned by Olivia, he claimed to have a disorder for unaliving children. "Please don't hate me. I'm sorry I turned scum, but even when you first met me, I told you how I wanted to unalive children." That's why I feel like Vail, when I met JonBenet, she took away that horrible craving to unalive kids that you know me for. She changed me into a new person, but it's okay. I've unalived so many children, I've lost track. Wow. Put him underneath the jail. Put him underneath the jail. Oh my God, disgusting. Vail forwarded Olivia's apparent confession to BPD in 2019, but the department brushed aside y'all need to get rid of the Boulder Police Department because they are trash. Since then, Olivia has continued to send Vail disturbing letters and drawings from his prison cell in Lemon, Colorado. In one such sketch, Olivia crafted a pencil drawing of a smiling JonBenet wearing a crown and sash with the word Bambini embossed across, nailed to a cross. Written above the girl's head are the words JonBenet Christ. Baby, I ain't got time for this. In another etching of JonBenet, Olivia wrote a poem about his love for the unalived 6-year-old. "My heart was split and a flower appeared and grace sprang up and it bore fruit for my God," begins the bizarre ramblings. "You split me, tore my heart open and filled me with love. You poured your spirit into me. I knew you as myself. My eyes are radiant with your spirit. My nostrils filled with your fragrance. My ears delight in your music. Blessed are the people who planted on your earth in your garden, who grow as your trees and flowers grow, who transform their darkness to light. Their roots plunge into darkness, their faces turn towards the light. There is infinite space in your garden. All people are welcome here. All they need to do is enter. I love you, JonBenet," continues the letter. "It would be worth it to take the blame for you." Wow. Olivia's 10-year sentence is due to come to an end in 2025. Everybody in Boulder need to move, child. Though it remains to be seen whether the state will agree to release him. Under the terms of his sentence, the state is only required to do so if he passes a offender treatment program. Vail said that his former classmate should never be permitted freedom because he is incapable of reform. Society would not be safe with him out. He's told me in some of our calls that you could give him shock therapy and still he'd have these urges. I mean, this guy is sending me drawings of grilling and eating children. He's a menace to society. You got that right. You got that right. He should not be allowed out of nobody's jail. No. Yeah, the Boulder Police Department needs to be shut down. And child, Like I said, this blew me away. This blew me away. All of this evidence and nothing still has been done. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section what y'all think about this, because this blew me away. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section if y'all want me to do more videos like this, because I'm fascinated by stuff like this. Let's talk down below. Make sure once again to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.